It's a tale as old as time. A person rises from humble beginnings into the limelight to realize their true potential and lift themselves out of poverty. Well, good news folks, those stories don't just happen in the movies. Many of our favorite celebrities were also once struggling financially until they got their big break. What's going on, film fanatics, and welcome to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and if you happen to be new here, we cover all things television, movies, and anything beyond the screen. So just tap that subscribe button to join our notification squad, and make sure you stay all the way until the end of this video because that's where I answer some of your comments, even the not so nice ones. Now without any further delay, let's get right into our list of the top 10 rich celebrities that were once homeless. In at number 10, Steve Jobs. The mastermind behind the massive success of Apple and really the technological advancement of smartphones can all be attributed to this man's vision. When Steve Jobs dropped out of Reed College, it left him without a dorm room to sleep in. He was so poor that he had to sleep on friends' floors and return Coke bottles to make whatever money that he could. During a speech at Stanford University, Jobs recalled walking 7 miles across town every Sunday night just to get one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna Temple. At the time of his death in 2011, the American inventor and business mogul had a net worth of $10.2 billion. In at number 9, Dr. Phil. Coming from very meager beginnings, Phil McGraw was homeless at the age of 12 when his father was interning as a psychologist. Dr. Phil and his father were living in a car in Kansas City while his father was trying to secure a job. McGraw would later get his own bachelor's, master's, and PhD, which would come important to his later career. On his rise to celebrity status though, Dr. Phil joined his father's psychology practice in Texas. Thanks to Oprah Winfrey inviting McGraw on her show in the 1990s, he would soon become a regular on the show. This would then lead to him being able to launch his very own successful advice program. In at number 8, Kelly Clarkson. Before winning the first season of American Idol, Clarkson suffered through a lot of hard times, which just makes her singing "Whatever Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger" feel all the more real. According to a 2011 New York Times profile of Kelly Clarkson, while the singer was in Los Angeles, she ended up living in her car after the apartment that she moved into caught fire. With little to no money and no contacts in LA, Kelly was forced to move back to her home state of Texas. Although it was almost a blessing in disguise, Clarkson was able to audition for American Idol when they rolled through her state. I bet the next time that she went to Los Angeles though, it was pretty bittersweet. In at number 7, Chris Pratt. I will forever know him as Burt Macklin, but ever since his transition from funny guy to action hero, Pratt has really made a name for himself in Hollywood. At 19 years old, Pratt accepted a one-way ticket to Maui, Hawaii from a friend. This is where he would then go on to live in a flea and mice infested van. During an interview with The Independent, he said it was pretty awesome, adding, "We just drank and smoked weed and worked minimal hours, 15 to 20 hours per week, just enough to cover gas, food, and fishing supplies." While Pratt was waiting tables at the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company in Maui, actress Ra Dawn Chong took notice of his good look and decided to cast him in her directorial debut. The film was called Curse Part 3, which is actually the script that you see Chris holding in the photo of him beside his van. When reflecting on his hard times and this massive opportunity, Chris said, "The moment she told me she was bringing me to LA, I knew. I was like, this is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life." And thank God he did. In at number 6, James Cameron. James Cameron is responsible for some of the greatest films in history. From The Terminator to The Titanic, he has had an illustrious career in the entertainment industry. Although before he made it to the big leagues, Cameron was a struggling artist. While he was writing The Terminator, he could barely make ends meet. For a little while, he was even forced to live in his car. However, at that moment, his main concern wasn't money, it was time. Despite the little experience that he had with writing a script, James was determined to get this movie made. He even attempted to pitch his Terminator script, and while most production companies liked it, they didn't want to put the amateur James Cameron in charge. James was brilliant though. Even then, he decided to partner with producer Gail Ann Hurd, who purchased the rights to his screenplay for $1 so long as she named him the director. The Terminator would go on to make $77 million worldwide. In at number 5, Jennifer Lopez. Before she was crushing it with movies and singing at the Super Bowl halftime show, J-Lo was forced to couch surf because her parents did not approve of her career choice. When she was 18 years old, she told her mother that she wanted to be a dancer, but her mom insisted that she go to college instead. So in an act of rebellion, Lopez moved out and started sleeping on the sofa at her dance studio. During an interview with W Magazine, she said, "I was homeless, but I told her, this is what I have to do." And a few months later, she had landed a gig dancing in Europe, and then upon returning to LA, she booked a role on the show In Living Color. Now at 50 years old, her net worth is reported to be $400 million, earning approximately $40 million each year. In at number 4, Shania Twain. It's difficult to imagine this country music legend ever living on the streets, but as a child, Shania Twain had a rough upbringing. Long before her superstar status, Shania stayed in a Toronto homeless shelter with her mother and siblings. Later on, when she turned 16 years old, she found shelter by sleeping in buses and vacant homes. When looking back on these dark times, Shania said, "I think I've remained very detached from my life to this point, almost as though it was a different person, every phase I went through. So I've reconnected and said, no, this is actually who I am. I'm neither embarrassed of who I am, where I came from, what I've experienced. I'm not ashamed of it." Twain's album The Woman in Me would end up winning her a Grammy in 1995 for Best Country Album, and as of 2020 she has sold over 100 million records, making her one of the best-selling female artists in country music history. Her net worth today is an estimated $400 million. In at number 3, Halle Berry. Halle Berry first moved to New York City to pursue a career in acting at 21 years old. Although before she knew it, she had run out of money, and her mother decided that the best thing to do was not to send her daughter more cash. This then forced Berry to stay in a homeless shelter and learn to take care of herself. During an interview with Reader's Digest, she said, "It taught me how to take care of myself and that I could live through any situation, even if it meant going to a shelter for a small stint or living within my means, which were meager. I became a person who knows that I will always make my own way." And make her own way she did. Halle Berry has become one of the most iconic and successful actresses in Hollywood. Today she is one of the highest paid actresses in the entertainment industry and has an estimated net worth of $80 million. In at number 2, Steve Harvey. Steve is the definition of the phrase a jack of all trades. In fact, they should change it to a Steve of all trades. He's a hilarious comedian, game show host, actor, and the list goes on and on. Before his rise to fame though, the 63-year-old TV personality told People magazine that when he started out as a comedian in the late 80s, a couple gigs fell through, leaving him homeless. He goes on to say in the same interview that he lived in his 1976 Ford Tempo for 3 years, and whenever he wanted to wash up, he'd have to go find a gas station, a hotel bathroom, or even use the showers at a local swimming pool. It wasn't until he was called to appear on Showtime at the Apollo that his luck started to turn around. In fact, this was his big break, and in 2020 his net worth is an estimated $200 million. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Jim Carrey. According to his biography, actor and comedian extraordinaire was a high school dropout. Although it wasn't because he was failing. His father was a musician who got a regular job to support his children, but when he lost this job, that's when everything started to fall apart. They went from lower middle class to just poor. The entire family was living out of a van, and at the age of 15, Jim quit school to begin working to support his family as a janitor. Although when reflecting on his childhood, Jim said that it was during these tough financial times that he developed a sense of humor. As of 2020, his estimated net worth is $150 million, putting him on that small list of the richest comedians in the world. Now without any further delay, let's check out some of your comments from the video titled Top 10 Celebrities Who Became Homeless Part 2. Last Toss says, "Can't stand this guy, where's Lucy, where's Jocelyn Bedard and Queen Lucy?" You said Lucy twice. And hey, if you don't like my videos, no one's forcing you to watch them. Trudat says, "It's the awesome Bacon Overlord, thanks for entertaining me." No, thank you. Without kind people like yourself in the comment section, I wouldn't want to keep entertaining people. Sarah Davis says, "Yay, I love this channel, thanks Bacon Overlord for the great video." You're very welcome, Sarah, and thank you for watching. Gemma Lowe says, "Johnny, the only host to thank the editors every time." Hey, they're the most important piece of this puzzle. Without their hard work behind the scenes, the hosts are pretty much nothing. And that has been the top 10 rich celebrities that were once homeless. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our editors for making me look so good. If you enjoyed this video, then show us some love here by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is tap that playlist when it pops up. From Top 10 Beyond the Screen, my name is Johnny Rogers, saying until next time, stay classy.